So we're here, the final video for our completed project, the 4 flats in Acton. Now the final building control sign-off is there, the structural warranty sign-off is there, lots of hurdles getting there to finally get that as well. Obviously, things like sound testing, vent testing, air testing, all of these things were really challenges which we had to go through, but finally it's now completed. We're going to do a walkthrough just to have a look at the kind of final finishes and what we're doing in terms of the exit strategy. We've done a 5-part series, this is part 6. As you can see from the outside, we've done a composite door on the front, which as per planning, they wanted it to be in line with the other properties, having the kind of traditional timber look. And then you've got the flats 1 to 4, 8 Church Road above in the glass, which looks nice. I think it adds that little bit of luxury to it. We'll have a look inside and go through some of the challenges and things that went well as well. As you come through, you can see you've got a very nice high ceilings, quite a grand entrance hallway. Obviously, for the communal area, this will be the communal area for all the residents, in which you've got your fire alarm system, your electric cupboard for their meters, as well as there will be post boxes here as well for their post. In terms of the finishing, we went with this kind of herringbone style carpet, which is quite hard wearing on the staircase. We were considering maybe doing a runway kind of thing where you have the runner, carpet runner, but because of maintenance purposes, I think it's better with tenants to keep it fully carpeted. And then in terms of the basement, you've got the cycle storage and you've got the water meters, gas meter. We'll then go through to the ground floor flat, 1st floor, 2nd floor and 3rd floor. In terms of the challenges and difficulties that I faced, I'm just going to go through some of them in terms of getting the final sign-offs for building control and structural warranty as we go through. So come through, have a look at the ground floor flat. So we're going to go through to the kitchen and living area first. And that's the nicest part of the property. So this was a 5.5 by 5.5 meter extension in which you've got the herringbone flooring, the quartz worktop, this navy blue kitchen in which you can see you got the integrated appliances, dishwasher, washing machine, fridge, freezer. Ceiling height's actually quite nice throughout the whole property, especially on the ground floor in the bedrooms. You've got 3.5 meter ceiling heights, as well as here, this is about 2.8 meter ceiling heights. Nice that this flat has its own private garden in that sense. In terms of the build work, final finishings and stuff, where if we were to do a sales route, we might have gone down the route of staging the property by putting in sofa, dining table, chairs and beds. But as we went down the rental route instead, now it's kind of just unfurnished so that the tenants can bring their own furnishings in themselves. In terms of the EPCs, we managed to get C on all of the EPCs, which is really good, which is minimum requirement from 2030 onwards, which means that we're in a good position for long-term renting when we do need to rent it out. We don't need to do any further upgrades. Regarding getting it to C, that was quite difficult because obviously when the EPC assessor came, they do SAP EPCs rather than RD EPCs. The SAP EPCs had to be reviewed. They were coming up as borderline DC, and then to get that rating up a little bit. The ground floor flat was perfectly fine, but for the upstairs 1st, 2nd and 3rd floor flats, we had to boost it up by either putting in night storage heaters. We need to do air tests as well, just to get that EPC rating a little bit higher. Obviously, in terms of the appliances here in the kitchen, we went with some energy efficient appliances, as well as for water testing, how efficient they are. They look at those things, as well as for air testing, they look at those things as well. So what kind of appliances are, how much the usage of the water would be on these appliances. So the rating of those do make a difference as well. In terms of the outside space, we've got a garden with the AstroTurf, it's easy to maintain. Because of the level of finish here, we went with this kind of nice coving, LED coving throughout all the kitchens, as well as all of the bedrooms have been aligned with this same coving, with the LED coving. However, on the kitchen side, we kept it as you can see that extra nice finish on the ceiling. Then yeah, I can go out to the garden, quickly have a look. So in the garden, nice space. There was planning permission here for a shed, but we decided to go with without doing that because it didn't add that much value to it. In terms of the back of the property, as you can see, we've got a 5.5 meter extension, 4 by 3 meter extension on the second floor, and then the mansard loft conversion. Our neighbor has actually seen this property now, and he's so happy with it in that what he's done. He may do the same thing on his side. So there is that potential that, you know, I may be project managing on his side of things going forward potentially. But, you know, in terms of managing this one, I think because how it looks as people walk past, it definitely has improved the street scene, and I mean, like how it looks overall. So people are definitely happy with how it looks, as well as the council, all the sign-offs from the council, those have been all signed off. So it's in a good place, and as soon as we put it on the market for rent, there's been so much interest that it's now going to be fully rented out very, very imminently. So this is the last opportunity we had to make this video, and now we're going to go through and have a look at the rest of the floors. So over here we've got 2 bathrooms on the ground floor, one with the shower, one with the bathtub. In terms of the finish, upstairs we've gone with the same kind of style. We've got one with a black kind of finish and one with a kind of grey kind of style finish. One looks more like hotel type, one looks more family type of bathroom style. And we've got 2 large bedrooms at the end as well, which again, as I said, unfurnished. We went with the herringbone flooring in the kitchen areas, but everywhere else we went with the straight plank, just because it makes it look bigger in that straight planks, and then in the kitchen you want it to look a bit more luxury, so we went with the herringbone in the kitchen area. So yeah, we'll go up and have a look at the first floor. So now we're entering the first floor flat, and come through, have a look. On this side is the kitchen living room area, which again is really nice, similar to the ground floor flat. We've got the same style, same finishing. This flat, as well as the second floor flat, is exactly the same in terms of its finish. We've got the quartz worktop, slightly more expensive. Instead of, you have the option of either going to the border or you do a full splashback. The full splashback goes all the way across, all the way around. It just looks a bit nicer, and it's better for, you know, when you're working, the water doesn't damage the walls. And we've got the dishwasher integrated, washing machine, and the Bosch induction hob, the Bosch oven, and then the integrated fridge freezer. So over here we had like a kind of idea to do a media wall. If the potential tenant wants to do that, they can, but to put the TV on that wall. And the lighting options in the room is really good because you've got separate lights on either side. So you've got three separate chandeliers on here. Also underneath the kitchen, you can see there's like a light going underneath the kitchen as well, which is useful. These are extra tall cabinets compared to normal. So the size of these cabinets are 900. Normal cabinets will be 600, just so you have that extra storage space as well for the person using the flat. In terms of the heating, upstairs is all electric. So you've got electric panel radiators. They're extra powerful. We've gone for the more powerful ones, it keeps it warm as per the requirements for each room. They're also operated on your phone, on your app, if you wanted to use that. In terms of getting the soundproofing in these floors and to reach that minimum criteria for airborne and impact. Basically, impact is when you're walking on the floor. There is a test that the sound tester does to check that when you're walking, they put their receiver on the floor below, and they put the amplifier of what the sound is making on the floor above, and they check how much sound is going through into the floor below and how much is the insulation stopping the sound from coming through. So on 2 tests, basically impact and on airborne, we have managed to get that to pass. Even the council asked for a higher than normal decibel rating to reduce it by. So that meant that we had to increase the amount of insulation that was needed. So we used resilient bars, we used rock wool insulation, as well as acoustic boards and double fire rated boards as well, to make that like layer to have enough insulation between the two floors to keep the sound insulation good. To meet the Ealing Council is a little bit more strict than other councils, so we met their minimum criteria. And that was the slight delay in getting the building control sign-offs. But yeah, now it's all done, it's all good. And we've got the building control certificate. So yeah, we'll have a look at the bedroom and the bathroom. So the bathroom is the same, nice high ceiling, modern fixture finishings. You've got the LED mirror inside there. And inside the utility cupboard, obviously each flat has a minimum storage of 1 square meter that needs to be there as per the minimum requirement. So in there, things about 1.5 square meters, which we've housed the water tank, in which there's possible to also put your dryer. So we put some provision for the electric. If somebody wants to add a dryer inside the property, they can put it there if they wanted to. Also with the intercom system, that's not been installed yet, but we're going to have the intercom system here to make sure that if you buzz in, you can see who's coming in for security purposes. That's been provisioned for as well. In terms of the bedroom at the back, we'll go and have a look, and that's got its own private balcony. As you walk into the bedroom, it's a nice size double bedroom. We actually used to have a chimney stack over here, which has been removed to give it more space. This is a second floor extension, which has been built out 4 meters by 3 meters in width. Because you have party walls, like on that side, the party wall is over there, and then that's an external wall. Any external walls require an additional insulation on the walls. Like this is an external wall, that's an external wall. So they had to build out an extra roughly here, maybe 20 centimeters of insulation throughout the whole, that wall as well as that wall. Where you have a party wall between you and the neighbor, because they've got insulation on their side already and you're sharing their wall, there's no requirement for that insulation on this wall. But these things need to be provisioned for when you think about the size of the rooms and how much space you're actually going to get at the end of the day. For the sound testing, as I said, you need to have 2 rooms which you get tested for airborne, 2 rooms which you get tested for impact. So across the 4 flats, there had to be 4 tests that were done in total. So between the kitchen floors, between the bedroom floors. Obviously for planning permission purposes, stacking wise, you have to keep your bedrooms above bedrooms. You got kitchens upon kitchens, so they don't affect the noise of the people living upstairs and downstairs. In this room, you can see all the new windows and doors. These are all Fencer approved, so we've got the Fencer certificates on all the windows and doors as well. They've also got acoustic ventilation above, so each of these vents are specifically to stop the noise coming in from inside the house, from outside of the property. These are a little bit extra in terms of the cost, maybe £50 for each one rather than 20, but these are on all of the windows and all the doors. Again, another requirement for the council to make sure that it keeps the property relatively quiet inside, as well as they got the ventilation as well. Here we've got the balcony, which is roughly 2.5 meters by 1.5 meters in length, and it gives you a good aspect of that back of the property over there, and it gives some nice outside space for the flat. As we know, the first floor flat and second floor flat are exactly the same, so we're going to just go up to the top floor studio and have a look at that to see the final finish of that one. So in this hallway, as you come up to the top floor flat, just to point out, we've got the AOV, which is the automatic opening vent, which was mandatory to get so that in case of any fire, that automatically opens and closes. If the smoke hits that window, it automatically opens to protect the whole staircase. So it's a fire protected staircase in which there's no this is a fire escape route for the fire brigade. They know that this is the route that they will use to get out in case of an emergency. So that AOV had to be placed in this particular spot within the fire strategy plan. So our entrance to the flat is over here. We've got our boiler cupboard over here in this, and storage cupboard, that 1.5 square meter storage cupboard over here. And as we go through, we'll have a look at the studio. So as you can see, the studio is quite spacious, you know, for a studio, 37 square meters, which is the minimum size, but it looks a little bit bigger because of the nice lights. You've got the spotlights as well as the flush ceiling lights, and then we maximize the space as much as possible. So ceiling height is good throughout. You don't lose that height because obviously when you come even to the edge here, we pushed it to the maximum possible level to get the maximum possible space within the flat. So we've tried to segregate where we think maybe the bedroom would go, but there's so many different options on what the potential end user would be using it, whether they put their bedroom over there, bed over there, bed over there, a TV over there, or TV over there, or dining area. It's very flexible in terms of where they could use their space as per whatever works for them the best way. Even potentially they could put a small divider in the room to keep a separate space for their private area for their bedroom and their living area to be separated. This is something that can be done with a divider or partition, but that's up to them completely. For studios, you don't really see too many of them which are, you know, fully equipped with such a large kitchen as well. So obviously we've given about 8 units on this kitchen. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as well as the full height all the way across the whole top of the kitchen as well, which also is nice for whoever is here. If they like cooking, they've got enough space for them to do that. Again, same finishing as downstairs and all the other flats as well, as nice as possible. In the back, we've got their small shower room for their studio. There's no outside space for the studio, but still there are people that are happy even without outside space. You know, we've got nice parks and nice location anyway outside. So this would probably work for a single person that wants to stay here. And again, this is probably the most attractive property in terms of price. So again, this one got rented out very, very quickly. In terms of like the building work in this studio, the ceiling height is about 2.4 meters, so good ceiling height. Again, that's our party wall that side. There's no neighbor that side. We had to put the extra insulation. That's why ceiling height's a little bit lower, especially because roofs get a lot of, they need an extra insulation because of the amount of wind that will come across from all angles. But our neighbor will be doing an extension on that side as well in the future. So yeah, again, we managed to pass all the tests for the air, vents, water and sound. And I think this is one of the nicest flats as well because it's got the herringbone flooring, which makes it look even nicer. It's LVT, so it's a glue down product where if anything goes wrong, it's waterproof, as well as any issues that happen, you can take one piece off without having to take the whole thing off and then fix that one piece again, which is really good. So going forwards, after doing this whole project, it's given me the motivation to keep going and doing more commercial to residential conversions, as well as documenting maybe my journey on, you know, what kind of experiences, where have I gone wrong, where could I have improved, and I want to share some of that information through more content which is educational about property development in general, with the most as open and open about how things are as much as possible, with a clear, you know, understanding of what the challenges were, how difficult it was, where the hurdles were, and hopefully it will help people who are on a similar journey as me. So thank you very much for watching, and please reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you'd like to learn any more information about my property development work, or if you'd like to work together with me on my Mayor Developments Instagram page or my www.mayordevelopments.co.uk website.